Yo, watching these Screaming Fish here, people, and today, I'm coming back to the Terminator franchise. So, also, I'd just like to say welcome back to Screaming Fish's old favourites, where I review movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, at least the ones I've seen. And, this time we're going to the 90s. I know it's a bit of a stretch, seeing as I was in the 80s last time, and I haven't done the 70s yet, but anyway. We're looking at Terminator 2, and I did say I was going to review all the Terminator movies, and, yeah, I'm keeping to that promise. And I would definitely wear my signature Terminator 2 t-shirt if I had one. Yeah, I do not. I may have a Terminator 1 signature t-shirt, but I don't have a Terminator 2 signature t-shirt. So, string me up and shoot me if you want, but either way, let's get into my review of Terminator 2. In this sequel, set in 11 years after The Terminator, young John Connor, played by Edward Furlong, the key to civilization's victory over a future robot uprising, is the target of a shape-shifting T-1000 played by Robert Patrick, a Terminator sent from the future to kill him, and another Terminator, the revamped T-800, Arnold Schwarzenegger, has been sent back to protect the boy. As John Connor and his mother, played by Linda Hamilton, once again go on a run with the T-800, the boy forms an unexpected bond with the robot. First off, we have returning characters like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton. Arnold is, as usual, fantastic as the Terminator. He's still got that scary-looking presence about him, and every time he's on set. Then we've got Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, who has since been sent to a mental asylum for thinking Judgment Day is still coming and will kill millions, which it definitely will. And during that time, preparing John Connor, her son, before that time really, preparing John Connor for her son for the huge role he will play in the future. And she's really gone from that defenseless waitress to an all-out, killing machine, really, if I would say. And that's really shown when she attempts to kill Miles Dyson, who I will get to later, and it's almost like she's becoming a Terminator, and that's what is the best part about her character in this film. Speaking of John Connor, Edward Furlong is probably the only child actor in the 90s that felt realistic in his performance to me. In the beginning, he starts off as this spoiled, cocky little brat, and is pretty much self-centered and steals money from cash registers. But he soon grow up a little and realizes that he must become what he must become in order to become the Messiah that would soon lead humanity to victory against the machines in the future. We also have our main villain, the T-1000, which is one of the most menacing villains I've ever seen in a film. It acts deceivingly human, acting like a really nice guy in front of normal people. And he doesn't even look buff or scary looking. He just looks like a normal person. The guy can literally morph into the floor, turn his hands into blades, even grab a punch with its own head. And even morph into other people, and he can even reassemble himself after being frozen and shattered to pieces, which is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in a movie. No joke. And finally, we have Miles Dyson. I said I would get to him, the creator of Skynet. Now you're probably thinking this guy created Skynet to make Terminators and kill people, which it did, but Miles Dyson isn't that kind of guy. No, he's a loving father with a family who only created Skynet to try and make the world a better place. The action, and yeah, that's what's unique about this guy. He's not a villain. He just created the Skynet to make the world a better place. But what he didn't know was what it would bring upon the world. Speaking, and also the action sequences in this film are amazing. Mainly because they're mainly done practically with jaw-dropping stunts and mesmerizing gunfights. One of the film's strongest elements is probably how John Connor tells the Terminator that he must not kill people no matter what, which brings an interesting twist on the genre, because in the in the first film, you had a Terminator who was doing everything in his power to kill Sarah Connor and anyone who got in his way. But here, we have a Terminator that's doing everything in his power not to kill anyone. See what I'm getting at here, people? I also must say that the CGI in this movie is fantastic, and it's mainly used for the T-1000, morphing into things, but either way, it's some of the best CGI I've ever seen. And I would even say it's just as good as the stuff you saw in Star Wars or Jurassic Park. Yeah. And Jurassic Park came out 2 years later, and Star Wars came out earlier. That's a good point, but still, I do think that the effects look better than the effects in Jurassic Park. Just personal opinion, don't murder me, people. And, yeah, I'll also say that the ending to this movie, where the Terminator ends up sacrificing himself for the greater good, is in fact one of the saddest endings of all time that is bound to make you shed a tear, which it nearly did me. It takes a really sad movie to make me cry. So, I must say, James Cameron, who made the first movie, has done it again. Just like with Aliens, he has made a sequel that rivals the original, and yes, Terminator 2 is indeed better than the first movie. And without a doubt, I give it 10 out of 10. It is still, in my opinion, the best. Well, actually, no, that's not emotional. Well, it's along the lines of sequels like Empire Strikes Back, the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and okay, I guess I'll count Jurassic World, even if it wasn't quite as good as the first one, but still. And yeah, Terminator 2 is indeed my favorite action movie of all time, and yeah. So, guys, thank you for watching my Terminator 2 review. I know I'm still a bit red-faced at the moment. I look like the king of all tomatoes in a fish hat. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Do hope you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for Screaming Fish's old favourites. And please don't forget to like or leave a subscribe. And goodbye. Please follow me on Facebook as well.